Hello, welcome to Quest for Knowledge. Today we are going to discuss the 6 marks important questions. So this one is from the 2019 paper. State the qualities of an entrepreneur. As the qualities of an entrepreneur is, the entrepreneur must possess all such qualities which he can perform successfully while conducting the business. So he should be a calculated risk taker, so he should know how to avoid low risk situation, and when there is a lack of challenge, and he has to avoid high risk situation because he wants to succeed. So an entrepreneur cannot be a gambler. He has to be a proper calculated risk taker. Second, he has to be an innovator, a person who can convert his ideas into a reality, and in that he could attain good profit and even satisfaction. After innovator, he should be a proper organizer. So regarding the various factors of production, he has to organize all these things better by avoiding minimum losses and even reducing the cost of production. After that, creativity. He has to bring creative thinking, and to bring innovation, he has to have some creativeness in his operations. After that, achievement motivated. An entrepreneur is an achievement oriented person and not money hungry. He works for his desire and for challenge, accomplishment and service to other. And he should be technically competent. An entrepreneur must have reasonable level of technical knowledge and an ability that people can acquire with hard work. And an entrepreneur should be self confident, optimistic, socially responsible. Socially responsible means to be good towards the environment. Okay, he should have to take the responsibility of the environment, and he will have to create the job for others. After that, mental ability. An entrepreneur must be intelligent, adaptable, creative, and he must be able to engage in analysis of various problem and situation in order to deal with them. After that, communication ability. An entrepreneur must possess good communication ability with others, and he should be a very good decision maker, a venture capitalist. To start a new venture would be existing opportunity for economically strong person, or he should be in a position to arrange capital for his new business. So he should be a venture capitalist. He should be a leader, and dynamism. Entrepreneur has faces the adversities boldly and bravely. They become tougher during adverse situation. They have faith in themselves and attempt to solve problems given under pressure. So these all are the 15 points which you need to write whenever the qualities of an entrepreneur is being asked. The second question is, list the objectives of an entrepreneur. So, the objective of an entrepreneur is to promote first generation businessman and industrialist, to create awareness about availability of resources, to promote small scale cottage and local industry, to encourage self employment tendencies, opportunity for the self employment he should encourage, to provide knowledge about government plans and programs, and to make a successful entrepreneur, to provide training to operate business, to create awareness about marketing, to develop entrepreneur in all areas of the country, to remove doubt of entrepreneur, give solution and suggest remedies. So these all are the objectives of an entrepreneur. So, the next important question is, briefly explain the registration procedure of SSI. First, we need to select the name of the company. The entrepreneur must select the name of the industry in which he wants to start his business. The name must be selected, which can give the overall view about the type of the industry. After that, we need to fill up a form. The prescribed form is to be filled up for the registration of the firm in whatever the name. The entrepreneur must register his firm at the office of the registrar of firm. It should fulfill all necessary details about the firm. Third is deciding the form of ownership, whether it is a partnership, sole proprietorship, private or public limited company. After that, submission of the form. We need to submit the form. The prescribed form of the registration of small scale industry can be submitted in the office of the director of industries in various state. Inspection and approval. After that, the inspector of the office of the director of industries is required. They will come to do the inspection, and after submitting the prescribed application form to the director of industry, the inspector of the office of the director of industry to check the correctness and viability of the project. By doing such, they will come and approve. By that, we complete our registration procedure of small scale industries. The another question is, discuss the steps involved in the formulation of a business plan. So first is the introductory page, after that executive summary, third one is the description of venture, fourth is market analysis, after that feasibility analysis, and then production plan, marketing plan, technical plan, operation and management plan, human resource plan, and here comes critical risk and contingency plan, and last is the appendix 1. Now let's move on to what and all the advantage of industrial estate. Advantage of industrial estate is economies of scale. Units located in an industrial estate can adapt centralized buying and selling. So when you have a industrial estate, means it is very much easy to for the centralized buying and selling, and economies of agglomeration. Economies of agglomeration and benefit of interrelatedness. So we will have good interrelatedness by, because it is the industrial estate, the nearby whatever be the people will be, they will be like you will feel to be interrelatedness. After that, low investment, availability of good infrastructure, availability of support facility, mutual cooperation, you can easily focus on business, there will be a balanced regional development, external economies, saving of time and effort, and fewer risk. So these are the advantage of having an industrial estate. Now this one, let's move on to the 2018 paper, 6 marks. So list out the advantage of small scale industry. Small scale industries are generally labor intensive and don't require large amount of capital. So they don't require large amount of capital, but they need good amount of laborers to work. The energy of employment and underemployment people may be used for productive purpose in economy. So this is the advantage of SSI. Second is, small scale industries project can be undertaken in a short period and hence can increase production both in short run and long run. So they can take projects in a short period, so that they can do the production in both short run also and in even long run as well. The most developing countries are rich in certain agricultural, forest, mineral resources. Small scale enterprises can be based on processing of locally produced raw materials. So it is good to have an SSI. These are the advantage of SSI. Why? Because most developing countries are rich in agricultural, forest and mineral resources, so that they could easily get the raw material, and SSI are specially based on such locally produced raw material. Fourth, it is possible both to save and foreign exchange goods from local resources. SSI are trying ground for local entrepreneur and decision making. By creating opportunity for small business, industrial enterprises can think about more equitable distribution of wealth, so that rich will not become more richer and poor will not become more poor. The way, the more the equitable distribution will be done, so which is necessity socially and even very desirable. Small scale enterprises in developing countries help to create job in creating economic stability in society by controlling the monopoly system. The development of small scale will create job in rural areas of the developing countries where the unemployment is high. So small scale enterprises will make possible transfer for manufacturing activities from metropolitan to small area. This will help in bringing about geographical requirement of skill and technology in a country. Apart from linkages between agriculture of rural development, between small and industrial enterprises, there is an essential relationship between small scale industries and the farmer which facilitates the growth. Small scale enterprise have their own place in a country's economy. Imperfect competition protects the small firm market and enables them to exist even when they are not efficient in terms of cost. Small scale industry create immediate and permanent employment at a relatively small capital cost. So these are the benefits of small scale industries. What are the aspects to be examined while deciding technical feasibility? So when you are deciding technical feasibility, what are all the things which you need to examine? First, you need to examine material input, raw material, whether it is easily available to you. And second, what are all the production and product mix? Second, where is your location and site? Structure and civil works, what is the new technology, how to handle the technology, technical know-how, project charts and layout, manufacturing process and technology, plant capacity, selection and procurement of machinery and equipment, scale of operation, collaboration agreements, and work scheduling. So these are the aspects which is needed to be examined while deciding technical feasibility. Explain the objectives of seminar and conventions organized by Awake. Association of Women Entrepreneur of Karnataka, that is Awake. Uh, Association of Women Entrepreneur of Karnataka is a non-profit, non-governmental organization, that is an NGO, which is established in 1983. Its aim is to promote entrepreneurship among women and thereby to empower them to join into the economic mainstream. So what are all the services which is being provided by Awake? It conducts entrepreneurship development program EDP for women and youth intending to start a business in urban and rural areas. Awake conducts needs based skill development programs for women in various sectors like food processing, handicrafts, tailoring, embroidery, garment, artificial jewelry, candle making, herbal products, housekeeping, beautician training, etc. Awake will conduct the program for both in rural and urban areas, considering the business opportunities and market trend of the environment. Awake is to encourage the women who are interested in food processing, established a business incubator for food processing at Bangalore. Awake owes the success of its EDPs because of its holistic approach in including all developmental agencies, both the government and NGO. Awake provides special assistance to women entrepreneurs. Business counseling is conducted for potential entrepreneur aspiring to start her own business enterprises. Under this program, Awake informs and creates awareness amongst women entrepreneurs. Awake is association with various government and non-government agencies, provides a platform for its member and trainees for marketing their product and build their business network. It conducts various programs and workshops on various topics such as finance, tax planning, computer skills, information technology, packing in marketing, how to export and import, communication skill, and human resource management. So these all are the services which is being provided by Awake. Industrial estate is a place where the required facility and factory accommodation are provided by the government to the entrepreneur to establish their industries there. So industrial region, industrial park, industrial area, industrial zone, etc. are the industrial estate. So what is their role and objective of industrial estate? So let's discuss about that. It provides infrastructure and accommodation facility to the various entrepreneur. It encourages the development of small scale industry in the country. It decentralizes the power that the industries can be developed even in the rural and backward areas, encouraging ancillary industry in surrounding of major industrial units. and developing entrepreneur by creating a congenial climate to run the industries in these estates, area or township, etc. So these are all the objectives of industrial estates. Now let's move on to the another question, which is what is the role of SSI in stimulating the economic activities. So SSI plays the role of employment generation. So SME is the sector which creates large employment opportunity to very much of Indian people. Second, it helps in the various production for the country. So the more the production, the more the growth of the country. So it contributes 40% of the GDP in the Indian economy. And third is the export contribution. SME sector plays a major role in India's present export performance, and SME leads for the innovation and development, and SME helps for the utilizing resources optimistically and developing entrepreneurial capacity, increases GDP of the economy, and it's a feeder to large scale industries. So SMC is complementary to large scale industry manufacturing. Why? Because various types of components, spare parts, tool, accessories, which are all required by the large scale sector, is being provided by the small scale enterprise. And it is an opportunity to artisan in villages. Specialists are having expertise in different fields, so because of lack of opportunity, the skill do not come to the light. So SMC industry are providing a chance to such artisan, and SMC is provides employment, so that it also increases their standard of living in the rural areas, in the backward areas and all. So these all are the advantages of SSI towards economic development. And less pressure of population on agriculture. So the survival, as more population depends upon land for survival, the land is further divided into small pieces. So it no longer remains beneficial to do farming on such small field. In every year, there is a further increase of approximately 30 lakh people who depend on agriculture. So SMC comes means there is lack of pressure on agriculture. The more the small enterprises, the more there is an equitable distribution of income, and there is a social advantage. SMC offers opportunity for an independent way of life of people with a small means. They offer saving in social overheads like education, housing, medical facilities by taking industry near to the people. They help to rise per capita income, so that their standard of living in the country increases, so that it also develops overall Indian economy. So this one is the paper of 2017. In this we are going to discuss what are the briefly explain the consequence of industrial sickness. So what is the consequence of industrial sickness? So first, it setbacks to the employment prospects. So it involves lack of opportunity, lack of labor intensive and highly unsatisfaction. When you are these are the consequence results of having the industrial sickness. Fear of industrial unrest. Here, high unemployment rate, low productivity and unfavor of trade union. Wastage of resources. It includes lack of infrastructure facilities and block of capital equipment. Adverse impact on related channel breakdown between industry. Adverse effect on investments, investor who does the investment and employment. It has low satisfaction of investor, negative effect on the same line, new effect of the on the growth rate of industry. Losses of banks, low recovery rate of bank and institution, loss of image in the market, lack of financial support for new industry, loss of revenue to the government. Explain briefly the steps involved in setting up of small scale industry. So what are all the things which we need to set up involved, for the steps involved in setting up of a small industry? First we need to go through with the product or service selection. So the background and experience of entrepreneur, availability of right technology is there or not, what is the marketability of that product or service, what is the investment capacity, What are the availabilities of plant and machinery and raw materials? Is there the availability of proper infrastructure facility and availability of labor? This is the step one we need to look out before setting up a business. Second step is to location selection. So we need to look out the nearness to market, where the location we have decided it is there. In that location, do we have a raw materials supply, transportation facility? Is there in proper availability of communication, proper infrastructure facility, availability of government policy incentives and concessions? Is there, or what we need to check out? Step 3 is for the project feasibility. So project feasibility. After the location, we need to check out, is there market analysis carried out to find out the aggregate demand of the proposed product or services, technical analysis to seek to determine whether the prerequisites, financial analysis seek to ascertain whether the proposed project will be financially viable, economic analysis concerned judging a project from the larger social point of view. After that, we need to prepare a project file. So in that, we need to introduce, we need to inform the promoter's background, what are the product and services we are going to produce and give, and description of the product, market and marketing, cost of production and profitability. And after that, we have to make business plan preparation. There are three major alternatives. One is proprietary, partnership company, and specific clearance, land selection, and plant and machinery, infrastructure facilities, and project report. So these all are the steps which are involved before setting up a small scale industry. After that, we have the qualities of an entrepreneur, which we have already discussed. So I'm moving forward. And after that, we have objective of industrial estate, which we have already discussed. So I'm going to move forward. So after that, we have the main important question is what the explain the types of entrepreneur. So we have various types of entrepreneur. First is according to on the basis or on the basis of the type of business development. So first is business entrepreneur, trading entrepreneur, who regardings with the business entrepreneur is the person who develops new ideas for the new product and services. Trading entrepreneur who deals with the buying and selling of the good, and corporate entrepreneur who establish and manage corporate form of organization which is a separate legal existence. After that, agricultural entrepreneur who is involved with the making of crops, fertilizers and all. Industrial entrepreneur who manufactures. Okay, and so that is all on the basis of types of business. Let's move on the basis of stages of development. First generation entrepreneur, or the entrepreneur who don't have any background, like we can say Dhirubhai Ambani. Second generation entrepreneur means who inherit the family business and pass to next generation. So it can be the example like Mukesh and Anil Ambani. So this could be the best example for the first generation and second generation entrepreneur. And a classical entrepreneur who aims to maximize his economic returns at a level consistent with the survival of the unit, with or without the element of growth. On the basis of entrepreneur, we have three kind of. One is pure entrepreneur who is motivated to become the entrepreneur by his own personal satisfaction. Induced entrepreneur is just to take up the benefit which is the provided by the government. Okay, like government's financial assistance and policy of the government, like to take the benefit of incentive and subsidy. If he wants to become an entrepreneur, that things motivates him to become an entrepreneur, is the induced entrepreneur. Spontaneous entrepreneur, or the entrepreneur who are bold and confident, and they have very good much of confidence in their talent, so they join into such venture. So such is spontaneous entrepreneur. On the basis of technology, we have technical entrepreneur, which is technical oriented. So they prefer doing to thinking. Technical entrepreneur. Second is non-technical entrepreneur, where they need not concerned with that much of technical side, but they will do more of the marketing. So that is non-technical entrepreneur. Professional entrepreneur, or the entrepreneur who will set up the business and later they'll sell the business and start a new unit later. So they are the professional entrepreneur who are good in starting a business but not good in running the business. They'll simply sell it out to others and again they'll set up a new business. On the basis of capital ownership, we have private entrepreneur, um and state entrepreneur, joint entrepreneur. On the according to gender and age, man entrepreneur, woman entrepreneur, young entrepreneur, old entrepreneur, and middle aged entrepreneur. According to area, we have urban and rural entrepreneur. According to scale, we have large scale entrepreneur, medium scale entrepreneur, small scale, and tiny scale entrepreneur. Others, we have spiritual entrepreneur and social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneur is the person who wants to benefit the society with his product. So after that, according to Dan Hoff, we have four type of entrepreneur. That is, one is Fabian entrepreneur, who is skeptical to change, and they are little shy, lazy, and lethargic, and they are imitative by nature. So that they are Fabian entrepreneur. After that, we have drone entrepreneur. Drone entrepreneur are the entrepreneur who refuse to change themselves. Even when there is loss also, they are not ready to change themselves. After that, imitative entrepreneur who copy other. Imitative entrepreneur. And innovative entrepreneur is the passionate entrepreneur who keeps on innovating. Such kind of a entrepreneur is innovative entrepreneur. And entrepreneur is a person who focuses on innovation and creativity, and who transforms dream into reality, and an idea into a profitable venture. Such kind of a person is called as entrepreneur. Thank you very much.